Today, we are going to talk about Parasite, a film about class, or a film about shame, about the things people will do, the lies they will tell, the lives they will construct to hide where they come from. Bong Joon-ho built Parasite around one of the most precise spatial metaphors in the history of cinema. Every level of this film, the semi-basement, the street, the hilltop mansion, the hidden room below everything, is not just a location. It is a position in a hierarchy that nobody chose and almost nobody escapes. The Kim family. 4 people in a semi-basement in Seoul. Intelligent, resourceful, warm, funny. People you like immediately. People who have been failed by a system that rewards the already comfortable and quietly punishes everyone else for the crime of starting lower down. And there is a smell that follows them. The smell of the semi-basement, of where they come from. No matter how far they climb, no matter how perfectly they construct their new identities, the smell remains. Parasite has a moment, a single line of dialogue. That is the most honest thing any film has said about class in the last 20 years. Not the violence. Not the twist. Not the flooding scene, as devastating as that is. One line, spoken quietly, almost as an aside, by a man who barely seems to notice he is saying the most important thing in the film. I want to get to that line. Because once you hear it, the way I am going to frame it, you will never watch this film the same way again. Let me talk about the geography of this film, because Bong Joon-ho is one of the few filmmakers alive who builds his entire argument into the physical world of the story before a single word of dialogue is spoken. The semi-basement apartment where the Kims live sits half underground, half above. From inside, you can see people's feet walking past at street level. Not the sky, not faces, feet. You are below the world, looking up at it, unable to see far enough to know who is passing. The Park family live at the top of a hill in a house designed by a famous architect. All clean lines and glass and carefully considered space. A house that feels effortless. Because everything about the Park's life is designed to feel effortless. They didn't build this effortlessness. They arrived at the top and found it waiting. And then there's the hidden basement. Below the park house, below even the servants' quarters, is a room that doesn't officially exist. A space where someone has been living in complete darkness, sustained by scraps from the world above, invisible to everyone in the house that stands on top of him. When it rains in this film, the water flows down. Always down. To the streets, to the semi-basement, through the windows, rising across the floor, taking everything the Kims have just begun to build. The geography of the city is also the geography of who gets destroyed when something goes wrong. Bong never explains this. He builds it into the physical world so precisely that you feel the hierarchy in your body before you can articulate it in your mind. That is what separates Parasite from every other film about class made in the last decade. It doesn't argue, it shows you where everyone stands, and then it shows you what happens when someone tries to move. Here is the reframe I promised you. The Kims are not trying to destroy the parks. They are not driven by resentment, by ideology, by a political desire to overturn the system. They are not even at their core particularly greedy. What they want, what every lie they tell, and every identity they construct is in service of, is to pass. To be indistinguishable from people who grew up with money, to walk into a room and have no one smell where they came from, to construct a version of themselves so convincing that the semi-basement, that fundamental marker of their position, stops being a fact anyone can detect. This is not a class film. This is a shame film. And there is a difference. Class is structural. It is about where the system put you. Shame is interior. It is about whether you have internalized where the system put you as something you deserve. Whether you have come to believe, somewhere underneath everything, that the smell is your fault. Mrs. Park crosses a line in this film. She tells her husband, without particular cruelty, without even real awareness, that the family's driver has a smell she cannot stand. Old radishes, the underground, a smell that crosses a line. She says it as a fact, the way you state a preference, with no understanding that the man he is describing is sitting meters away, listening. Ki-taek hears it, and something changes in his face. Not anger, not yet. Something older than anger. The recognition, the devastating, wordless recognition that no matter how far he has climbed, no matter how good the performance has been, he's not actually moved. he still smells like where he comes from. And the people at the top of the hill noticed. Now I want to give you the line. Ki-tak, the father, says it to his son near the end of the film. He is talking about himself. He's not the kind of person who makes plans. He's the kind of person who, if you make a plan, he goes along with it. He says this without self-pity, almost without emotion, as a simple statement of fact about who he is. And it is the most devastating line in the film. Because what Ki-tak is describing is not a personality trait. He is describing what poverty does to a person over time. It is not just money that the system takes from people at the bottom. It takes the belief that the future is something they get to shape. The belief that a plan made by them, for them, is something the world will accommodate. Planning is a luxury. Survival is adaptive, reactive. You go along with what comes because that is what you have learned the world requires of you. The parks plan constantly, casually. Their future is assumed to be shapeable, by them, for them, around their preferences. They have the house designed the way they want it. They plan their children's education. They plan their weekends away, at short notice, because they can. The gap between the two families is not just economic. It is the gap between people who believe they have agency over their own lives, and people who have learned, through decades of accumulated experience, that they do not. And that gap, that interior gap, the one that lives inside a person rather than in their bank account, is what the system never has to apologize for, because it is invisible, because the person carrying it is the one most likely to blame themselves for it. That is what Bong Joon-ho is saying in this film. Not that rich people are bad, not that poor people are good. That the system takes something from people that money alone cannot give back. And that smell, that specific, physical, undeniable smell, is what that stolen thing smells like. The film ends with a letter. Ki-woo, the son, has survived. He is recovering. And he writes to his father, who is now living in the hidden basement of the park house, the space that doesn't officially exist, below the house, below everything. He has a plan. He will work hard. He will make money. He will save enough to buy the house, to walk in through the front door as its owner, to bring his father up from underground into the light, up through every level, past the street, past the gate, all the way to the top of the hill. It is a beautiful plan. And Bong Joon-ho holds on Ki-woo's face long enough for you to understand. It will never happen. Not because Ki-woo is not intelligent enough, not because he won't work hard enough, but because the film has spent 2 hours showing you exactly how the system works, exactly how the water flows, exactly where people end up when something goes wrong, and there is nowhere further down left to fall. Ki-woo doesn't know he is writing a fantasy. He believes in it. He needs to believe in it. And that belief, fragile, earnest, completely impossible, is the most heartbreaking thing in the film. Because the father knows. Ki-tak is not the kind of person who makes plans. He goes along with what comes. With the gap between what Ki-woo believes and what Bong knows, between the plan and the reality, between the top of the hill and the semi-basement window where you can see feet walking past but never far enough up to see who they belong to. Parasite won the Palme d'Or. It won Best Picture. The whole world saw it. And somehow, still, most people think it is about class. It is about something older and quieter and harder to fix than class. It is about the smell you cannot wash off. And whether, if you climb high enough, anyone will still be able to tell. I am the Wandering Cinephile, and I will see you in the next film.